Hi, this is Garibay, and today we're going to be talking about Toy Story 4 and the second question the movie presents. So I've already talked about the first question, and today I'm going to talk about the second question presented within the Toy Story film. And this becomes clear from the Toy Story 4 trailer. All right, so let's talk about it. Okay, so I already talked about the Toy Story 4 question, right? So the trailer makes it very clear that the movie is presenting a clear question. What is that question? The question in Toy Story 4 for right now, for today, the moment that movie plays on day one of its release, it will ask this incredibly important question, which is, what is the purpose of a human being, right? And I predict now that Disney's answer to that question will be, whatever you choose it to be, right? Like, whatever each human being chooses it to be. That's my prediction, all right? Okay, so that is the first question. Now, Toy Story 4 is an absolutely incredible film. The trailer has had my mind spinning about Toy Story 4 a lot. It's also had me thinking about Blade Runner, right? And Blade Runner 2049. And I realized as I thought about Toy Story 4 that Toy Story 4 has a second question in it. This is a nested, event-activated question. A nested open paren, event-activated close paren question, okay? Now, so we already talked about the first question, and the first question will be proposed as soon as the movie is released, okay? The second question will come it will come weeks, months, or years after the movie releases. And that nested question will be revealed, okay? And the answer will be revealed when when this event happens in humankind's history. What is that event? It is when humans have created the first human clones, right? So you have the question 1 of Toy Story 4, which is, what is the purpose of a human being? Now, when that question is being asked and answered, Bonnie, right, is in the position of humanity's creator, okay? And Forky is in the position of a human being, all right? Now, when the first human clone is created, the movie will have a new question and a new answer, okay? The new question will be, what is the purpose of a human clone, right? Now, at that point, Bonnie will be in the position of humanity, and Forky will be in the position of a clone, a human clone, all right? And I can tell you right now, I know the question. I do not know Disney's answer to that question. Not only do I not know the answer to that question, I'm not even sure if Disney will intentionally answer it, right? They are going to be asking that question just by what they've already shown, right? It is possible that that nested, event-activated question is unintentional on the part of Disney, right? But you can absolutely ask an unintended question, right? Sometimes a question that you ask will have another question in it, right? Like, you know, let's say a girlfriend says to a boyfriend, hey, did you hang out with Pete yesterday? You know, there's one question there, but there's like 3 or 4 other nested questions in there, right? So, like, and I think that this is what we're looking at here. Now, I think that the people at Pixar are geniuses, and I think they're intentionally placing this nested, event-activated question in Toy Story 4, okay? I have no idea what they will say is the purpose of a human clone, right? And I'm not positive they'll have I guess they will have an answer, right? If they're smart enough to be intentionally asking this question, then I absolutely think they're going to have an answer, right? I don't know what that answer is, right? We're just too far away from it, right? All right, and I haven't seen the film yet, right? All right, now, what is the purpose of a human clone? I'm going to give you the answer right now, right? So one, J. Scott Garibay doesn't know J. Scott Garibay does know the answer to that, but not based on my own like experimentation or anything like that, because there are no human clones, and I'm certainly not making any, right? I know it because I'm a huge sci-fi fan, right? And sci-fi has 100% answered this question of what the purpose of a human clone will be, right? So one, I think the best answer to this is in the film Blade Runner, right? Now, Blade Runner doesn't have any human clones in it. It has androids in it, right? But the androids are really a stand-in for human clones, right? And that movie does the best job of telling what the purpose of human clones will be, right? And it's very specific, okay? Let's go through them. All right. So the first thing that they're going to be used for is organ harvesting. They're going to be organeers, right? They're going to supply organs for human beings, right? By the way, I'm not talking about any of the moral standings. I'm just talking about what they are yet. I will talk about the moral standings of each one of these in a minute. Right now, I'm just making a list, okay? All right, so you have organeers, right? Then you have servants. And servant, I am using the word servant here very, very, as a stand-in for the involuntary servant, and there's a word for that I just am choosing not to say right now because I want to keep this conversation as civil as possible, right? Okay. So in addition to that, you have replacements, right? Now, what is a replacement? Well, one of the things that human clones will be used for is they will be used to replace dead human beings, right? That's absolutely going to happen, right? In addition to that, they will be used as soldiers, right? That's, been around, that's super clear, right? And then the last one is they're going to be used as escorts, right? And again, I'm using the term escort because there's a much worse word that I would like, and again, I'd like to keep this conversation civil, right? So organeers, servants, soldiers, and escorts, right? And replacements, right? 5 things, right? All right, now, these are the purposes, 5 purposes that sci-fi has already, the Blade Runner specifically, has already told us human clones will be used for this, right? Now, that's the answer that sci-fi is giving, right? I'm going to give you the J. Scott Garibay answer. What is the purpose of a human clone? Well, the answer is none. Right? It is super clear to me just looking at that list, right? So, one, if you create human clones to get organs, that is ghoulish, right? If you use them as a servant, that is horrific. We have already been down that road in our country. We fought a war to not do that anymore, right? And that is the worst. That is actually, I guess there's a race for the worst here. Every single one of these is on a scale from bad to horrific, right? The next one is replacements. That is selfish, right? It's just selfish to create a human clone to replace somebody that you loved who died. It's very selfish, right? Creating them as soldiers is cruel. It is cruel to create a human clone to send it out to do war. That is incredibly cruel, right? And then last, to create human clones as escorts is lascivious, right? So all of the purposes of clones are horrific, ghoulish, selfish, cruel, and lascivious. Absolutely terrible, right? There are no good purposes for human clones, right? And even beyond that, absolutely none of the problems that humanity has today warrants us making human clones, right? So the real answer on what is the purpose of a human clone is none. They should never, ever be made for any reason, right? And so I feel really, really strongly about that. And so, it's really kind of interesting because I never thought that I would think deeply about the purposes of human cloning when I saw the Toy Story 4 trailer, right? When I thought, oh, Buzz Lightyear and Woody, I wasn't thinking, oh, this is going to really be strongly analogous and that Toy Story 4 was going to be incredibly parallel to the dark urban film Blade Runner. Like, who would have thought that, right? But Toy Story 4 has 2 questions in it. On day 1 of its release, it will ask the question, what is the purpose of a human being? On a subsequent following day, when the event of a human clone happens in humanity, right, which I am hoping never happens, a nested event-activated question will be posed by Toy Story 4, which is, what is the purpose of a human clone? Now, J. Scott Garibay answer, none, right? Sci-Fi's answer is organeers, escort soldiers, there's a couple more in there, replacements, right, and servants. You know, it's a terrible, horrific list. Absolutely none of those things are good, right? And the other thing is, we absolutely just want to kind of double down on this answer. Humanity should not make human clones, and the reason why is we barely treat each other with civility and respect, right? And as horrific as the things we have done to each other is, I think the things we would do to human clones would be, it would be factors worse than how we've treated each other. It just boggles the mind. So, you know, just thinking about the Toy Story 4, Little Bo Peep really, you know, just tells me, Scott Garibay, man, humanity should not make human clones. That's my thought. What do you think? Do you think there's any reason that I did not list or that I missed that is a good reason to create a human clone? I'd love to hear it, right? And I'm also curious what you thought of the Toy Story 4 trailer. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.